Yo, what is up, guys? It's around 2 months into the league now. I'm pretty happy with my character currently, so I'm just going to do a quick overview video. Just a preface, this is not a crafting video. If you have questions about my gear, I'm always happy to help, maybe make a video if you guys request it. But I'm just going to go over my gear, what I prioritized upgrading, and which route I went with this build, which is Smite of Divine Judgment Trickster. I know it's like one of the most popular builds. So right off the bat, I went for the int stacking route. So I have 1.8k int right now, 26k energy shield, pretty big. So first things first, you want a Mageblood for this build. Just opens it up, opens everything up, makes it so much more flexible in your gearing. So you don't have to worry about like too many resists or anything. So once you get your Mageblood, want to prioritize your weapon. So Ephemeral Edge, if you're going Ephemeral Edge, you want that bottom line there to be 15% maximum energy shield as your damage. Don't, maybe you can settle for a 14%, but don't go any lower. Even if you get resolute technique on like a 10%, it is not worth using that. Get 14 or 15%. If you can't afford the resolute technique, just solve your accuracy problems with this wheel here. That damage down there is just so important. You lose out on so much damage if you go 10%. So yeah, after that, you want to focus on a shield here, because you might be using Aegis of Aurora right now, so you want to switch to a Titanium Spirit Shield. Basically on your gear, you just want to prioritize as much energy shield as possible, so you don't have to get something exactly like this. I went for a high quality shield base and I dense fossil spammed it, but you can actually just make a recombinated shield with triple ES prefixes, veiled chaos for the int, and then craft double damage or something. I Crusader slammed this just for the jewel. I'll talk about that later. So yeah, so that's the shield. Then you want to do your body. Now your body can maybe be a little pricey if you don't want to go for a fracture. So you're either gonna have to give up the spell suppress or you give up the int. Early game I gave up the int. It shouldn't be that bad. The spell suppress is probably more important for your survivability, but eventually you're gonna want to fracture one of those mods. So you want to fracture either spell suppress or int, and then just dense spam it. But early game, you'll just, do a triple recom for the prefixes, and then Eldritch Craft, either the int or spell suppress, whatever you prefer. And also on your body armor, I see some people run Awaken Lightning damage or something. Yeah, don't do that. Just run damage on full life support. This gives you so much more damage because you're always on full life since you're CI. So yeah, just do that. Then comes the boots, gloves, and helmet. I'm just going to lump these together. Generally, you just want high ES and int suffix on them. So here, I went for, fractured hybrid ES mod. And then I just dense spammed an Eldritch Craft. Also, the Eldritch implicits, these like mana mods help me get rid of the Sea of Glass or whatever Sea Glass amulet, so I can use my mana pool. It's very helpful, so consider doing that too. And then my boots here, again, it's just energy shield, movement speed on the prefix. I have a video on how to craft this, and then it was fractured int, so I just finished it off with a resist. My gloves here are a little different. You don't have to go for this abyss socket. It will get a little pricey if you try to fracture it yourself. But generally, you can just craft these same gloves except for the abyss socket. You can ignore that. But yeah, but I mean, it's just energy shield with intelligence. Nothing too special. And then my amulet here. So this is going to be one of your last upgrades, Simplex amulet, because it's just so expensive. I think it's around like, let me see. So Simplex amulet is around like half a mirror right now. So obviously you're probably not going to get that. A great budget option. I have a video crafting a Crusader+Shaper Lapis Amulet on my channel. So definitely you can go for that. Or you can go for, you know, a synthesized amulet, Int Synth. Maybe like Spite Spam or something. Or you can go Greatwolf, you know, whatever works for you. I went for the Crusader+Shaper Lapis Amulet for my entire, you know, early game, and it served me well. So yeah, that's the amulet. Your rings, so I just have a synthesized int ring. I just, you know, spite spammed it until I got what I wanted. So I had a little trouble with strength in the early game, so I just spite spammed till I got strength. Crafted mana cost to, you know, alleviate the mana cost. And then the other ring is just a Chavron's Revelation. This ring gives you so much value. So it just gives you 75 int and 300 energy shield. A great budget option. So if I take this ring off, I lose about like 3,000 energy shield. So it's pretty good. And I'm still using it. If I were to upgrade the rings, it would probably be Helical Ring, probably Misted. But that can cost maybe upwards to like a mirror or something, so just not something I want to upgrade or farm for currently. So yeah, that's my gear. That's, you know, I feel like some of this is super obtainable, so you should just aim for this gear as a baseline. And then let's move into the jewels here. So the jewel, I have a Lethal Pride here. So my Lethal Pride gives me melee rage on hit and double damage. I think the rage on hit is super good because if you get it in your Lethal Pride, then you don't have to get it in your glove. So that's just like real. So on your gloves you get extra strike instead. So that allows you to take monsters cannot block your attacks. So that's one less mod you worry about in T17s. So that's the Lethal Pride there. And then I'm still running this Fertile Mind, you know. Probably something a lot of you guys run in the early game. I still run it. Gives you so much int, so much value. You know, I love it. Light of Meaning. So this is a little extra. I'm pretty sure this isn't even optimal, but I had a lightning damage Light of Meaning here. That's perfectly fine. Super serviceable. Just for like the final min-max, I went for a energy shield one. I think this should be like the last thing you go for, because, you know, these are like what? 145 divines, so it's pretty pricey. And if I take this off, I lose about like 1.2k ES. Not the end of the world. So yeah, would definitely have this as the last thing you upgrade. The most important thing for int stacking, in my opinion, are your cluster jewels. So this like whole, so I have 2 cluster jewels. You know, this is the exact stats you want. You want intelligence, attack speed, energy shield, and the increase effect. These will go for about, you know, probably like 100 divines. But it just gives you so much raw stats and value. Definitely worth it to pick these up ASAP, you know. If you can't afford that, I was running this budget option here. So these are just like the same stats, but tier 2. So this jewel carried me like a long way, so it's pretty important. You can get this for like maybe about like 35, around 35 divines, so pretty affordable, but you definitely want to upgrade to the big boys afterwards. And then I have a Bound by Destiny, so this is why my Crusader slammed my shield here. Just so I have 2 pieces of Crusader. Ignore the Mageblood because I didn't have this before. So early game, you want to get Crusader on your shield and Amulet. I guess you can get it on your ring too, but I didn't really go that route. But yeah, so if you get 2 Crusaders, you just get 15% int. This jewel is pretty pricey as well now. I think it goes for around 130 div. So definitely like maybe prioritize that last or something, because I bought mine when it was like 70 div, so it wasn't too bad. But things have changed now. And then I have Forbidden Flesh and Flame. So I am running Spellbreaker, which gives your spell suppress, so this just alleviates some passive points. You can either run Spellbreaker, or if it gets too expensive, maybe try to find like a polymath or something. But yeah, so that allowed me to remove some passive points. I think I had some like suppress here or something. Yeah, those are the jewels. And then, oh, I guess these rare jewels, you just want to go for int, attack speed, energy shield, pretty basic, simple. I think these were like maybe like 2 or 3 div, pretty cheap. So yeah, that's my character. I'm gonna upload the tree and everything in POB, so you guys don't have to like pause around. The auras I run are Discipline, Haste, Tempest Shield, Arctic Armor, and Blood and Sand. Blood and Sand gives you like a lot of damage. It gives you like a lot of area damage, so when you do Smite, it has that like AoE. You can also switch it to Sand Stance for a better clear. You know, it doesn't look like much, but it actually feels like so much better to get that increased AoE too. I know some people are still running Grace for the evasion, but I just swapped it to Haste at this point, because if I run Haste, or sorry, if I run Grace, I'll have 88 evade chance, so if I drop it, it just drops to 80%. I don't think that's a big deal, so I'd rather have the attack speed from Grace, because on my Merc, I run Fallen Reverend.
Demand action.
He has Zealotry and Wrath. You know, Zealotry is not really that important, but Wrath just gives you so much more damage. So you see on my tooltip, I have 1.6 mil, and then I will go to like the Menagerie or something, and my Merc bumps me up to 1.9, so pretty huge, even though, you know, Wrath, flat lightning damage doesn't really give you that much value in the late game, but you know, it's still free damage. So my Merc here, running Crown of the Tyrant. Both the scepters give a Wrath effect and increase AoE. If you don't know how to craft this, you just alt spam a Elder and Crusader scepter for the Wrath effect and the AoE, and you just awaken slam them together. Run Defiance of Destiny. You should run this over Perquel's Toe. Just makes your Merc not die. Like, my Merc has 72 res and 45 cold res. But he doesn't die even in 4x risk Abyss Scarabs, so he's pretty tanky. I run this ring. You know, this is pretty expensive. This is a negative lightning res with recoup. If you can't go the helical, you can do a cogwork ring instead. You know, perfectly fine with that. Comb's Binding with Wrathful effect. Replica's Albron, so he doesn't do any damage other than, you know, chaos damage, so that just for the Merc, he doesn't die to reflect. And yeah, just basic gloves with increased AoE and Doriani's. So yeah, that's my Merc, that's my character. I think I went over everything, but yeah, if you guys have any trouble with the build, if something I explained wasn't clear enough, you know, feel free to leave a comment. I read all the comments, try my best to explain everything. So yeah, hope this was helpful. See you guys next time. Peace.